Oh, you say people don't care again, Bernard. Though, there's another point. Jim Riley, Joe Zillig, Harry Race, Bernard LaChance, DJ Dave, Perlita Quinwan, Elton Anderson, Don Wiley, Doug King, 1961, Oyster Cracker Man, Bitted Bat 4, Blue Boy Boxes, Robo Rapist Night, Red Randy, Red Gordon and Ellery, Karen Foster Country and Western, and the All American. If people don't care, Bernard, if a lot of people don't care, that means you broke. Okay, it means you can't handle boot camp, Bernard. So I bet recruiters and the Navy SEALs and the fighter pilots and, the other military branches, police officers that do the academy, firefighter academies, NSA, FBI, CIA, and the tech companies, I bet they care because it means that your type, Bernard, and those who follow you, Perlita and Dave, you can break. It means you broke. You can't handle simple boot camp or a simple military tour for the last 6 to 7 years. It means cowboy country and western breaks. It means ghetto life breaks. So what are you guys doing fighting a war for, Bernard? You see, that's how it's stupid to amass people to fight a mob, or to amass a mob to fight a war for you, Bernard. Because that means that you, the leader, Bernard, of the BB4, the Bitted Bat 4, means you can break. How could you ever be a military success? So that 115 million that's enlisted, Bernard, they beat you. Jewish Colonel Melko beat you. What are you doing sitting in a seat, Bernard, like fag of a chance, that you can't control if you don't care? It means Colin Powell beat you. The Joint Chiefs of Staff beat you, Bernard LaFag, chance in your team. What are you doing sitting in a chair? Robo Rapist Night. What are you doing sitting in a chair when they beat you? Trying to control a military or a world, Bernard. You see how stupid that is when you say stuff like that? People don't care, but you don't know. Now you're trying to be the eye and speak for everyone, Bernard. See how it proves that you're a phony and a fake, Harry, Joe, and Bernard and Robo Knight? Think about what you do, Bernard. Because they'll find where you're hiding. Like I said, don't kill him. Don't kill Joe O'Brien. Don't kill Bernard. Don't kill any of them. Let them be humiliated with their military rule with the all-American comic book boy and their ego shit. Because that means that guy sitting down there hovering and laughing, he can be broke, and he's already broke. Because he decided to go to war with the wrong people. So be careful when you say people don't care, Bernard, because there are people who listen, and I'm sure they listen, and they get this stuff, and they care, because they've been trying to, break you. Cardboard snaps. So, sometimes the most simplest ways, like the Robo Knight says, is to find the way, where the terrorist leader is himself. And we know he can't win militarily, so he throws a fag fit with Perlita, and they break. Get it, Dave? You broke. So what are you doing trying to go to war with me and my dad and Ron Miller and half those guys, Dave? So how could you be a knight, Robo Knight, if you break? And Ellery breaks. Oh, that's right. The group of you are more interested still in sticking those nasty ass penises in ass, Bernard, because you're a dumb fag. And that's why your team lost. Because you're more interested in something you cannot have and that was never yours in the first place. Because you wanted to hot dog and showboat it. See why I don't do those gangs? It's not to make fun of them or the tattoos and stuff, Bernard. It's just that they're not organized enough. You guys use them and manipulate those kids to fight wars for you, and it's not really right, Dave. You get them all high and shit, and you guys want them to go to war and fucking make more problems, more mutilations and shit, because Perlita and Dave and some of those people like to watch that shit because they're cowards. It means you know why you have a problem, Red Randy? Because you're broke. Because you wanted to go up against somebody who has done some stuff out here before he was murdered and knows some things. So it actually proves, Bernard, when you say that, that you guys actually did commit murder and screwed it all up. You know that? And lied to millions and millions of people about how great you think you are, Bernard. So be careful, because there's other military leaders in the world, Bernard, who really, not only from the United States, but the rest of the world, that loves to know who are the ones who talk shit and make them go to war when they didn't need to. So be careful, Bernard. Be careful, Robo Rapist Night, as you whisper and Indian fade in and out of cities and shit. And fuck dead people and do all that nasty body swap and shit. Oh, Tom, not American. They're not American. You mean you were just a jealous fucking rapist fag, Bernard, and a thief from the very beginning? Oh, make fun of Disney, make fun of PBS, make fun of all the stuff that was working. The stuff that was to help people be educated so they didn't have to go in gangs and stuff, Bernard. Because some people actually thought and believed that some of those people had a brain first. But then there's those like you, Bernard, and Harry, and Robo Knight, and Dave, and Joe that attach to those type to try to manipulate them and, you know, and to doing whatever you want. That's not God. That's not the eye. There's no magic in that. You're just pissed, Bernard and Ellery, because your trick, your magic trick is being revealed. So don't talk shit about me and Brian, Bernard, when you're really the scumbag that really fucked up everybody's life as soon as you entered into families with Ellery because you wanted to stick your dick into other women and their daughters, professing that you are the Lord God of Zion or the Eden or the Atlantis or the Egyptians or whatever, the Greeks. Be careful with your war strategy, Bernard, and tactics. And your mouth. All-American. Because that all-American country and Western mouth, Bernard, is getting you and your group from the 60s and 70s and your protest in trouble. Because you failed, Bernard, to follow the rules of some girls that you wanted to make fun of, and they couldn't take care of you and get everybody the help they needed because the group of you boys were too busy grifting cities and stealing their shit and then blaming it on other people or religions while they were doing the work to try to get it to happen. And so $19 trillion of fag cowboy we've had to put up with for no fucking reason. And now you guys want it to work. And it doesn't work because you guys either killed everyone or made them sick. Or they don't want to help you anymore, Bernard, because they know you guys took their stuff. Huh, Joe, I'm going to amass this pile in the junkyard. So don't play with toilets and shit and talk about how it stinks, Bernard and Dave and Perlita and Dave, when you're, you know, Harry, Joe, Bernard, and your team. When you guys were the ones putting it there, Riley. So that's why we make a tank for you, Joe, Riley, and, you know, Bernard and your little fan base, Bernard, so everybody knows what you do. For the third time and why you failed, Bernard. Because you think you're some badass that doesn't have to follow rules. Because you want that cross. The cross means we don't have to do anything. Well, it means you do, Bernard. And like I said, Jay Beswick gets to find out that you guys basically murdered his son or his daughter. The Kentiers basically find out the same thing. Godfreys, the Schwartzes, the Fausts, the Millers, that's nothing, the Pewlers, that, you know, the little, you know, stalker rapist Dave and Joe and them and the 4-4 Carney Circus think they're the eye of magic, and that's what they do. And you're a coward if you don't follow them. Typical. Are you got some abuse in your own family that you're trying to, you know, afraid to talk about, Bernard? And you want to play psychologist? So like I said, be careful, Bernard, when you say people don't care, when you got people of training, military, doing boot camp training and all that, and 150 million plus that are already enlisted because they already know that you can break in your regime, and they beat you simply by working together as a nation, as a team with some computers, cheap stuff. Like I said, $150 less. And they know they can put, when this is all done and dealt with and over with, that they can put together that cool stuff again. And leave out those of you, Bernard, who cause conflicts and snap and break. Out. So you can run down to your little ranch with your hillbillies and lie, Bernard, and stare at your LCD screen TV and watch all the fucking nasty shit porno you want. I don't give a fuck. But some of those people maybe not want to do that. Because Bernard, some of them remember that there was something better before the group of you came along and started telling them what to fucking do and say and think.